Hey yo everyone, it's your boy Ken Natsuki here, back at it again with another new spanking hot what if video! And today, as I told you guys, I have a lot of ideas coming up. Yes, a Gati Deku is coming out later today, along with what if I was in, what if I was in MHA. I know some of the people watching this video are probably gonna be like, wait, what the hell? You in MHA? That makes no sense. Like, your whole character is based around Naruto. Well, listen, I will still be having quite overpowered abilities, but not the abilities you know a all-knowing, infinite, universal god of gods to have. So, in that what if, my quirk will be called Dream Fire Higher Manipulation. Basically, it's just a way of saying most of Bill Cipher's powers without it seeming extremely or blatantly obvious. Okay, so without any further ado, let us begin this amazing what if, or AU, I guess you could say. Now, what is this AU? You all might be wondering. This is this is I guess you could say, one of my two Billdip AUs. Now, in this one, I'm actually going to give Bill Cipher I guess you could say, less chaotic and demonic personality. Well, I mean, he's still gonna be plenty chaotic, plenty demonic, and still going to break the fourth wall at every chance he possibly gets. But, well, yeah. Now, let's begin this AU, shall we? Now, we see... Oh, sorry, I don't have a normal Dipper Pines photo, so this photo will be used but later in the video, so please just ignore the fact that it's here right now, okay? Because the internet is really sucky where I am right now, so if I were to try and download that photo, it would take me 30 minutes, and my family's on a fishing trip. And most of my family is at fishing, while my mom and sister are at a pool, and right now I'm in a hotel room. So yeah, I don't have a lot of time. Well, I mean, the fishing thing will probably be a couple hours, and I have no idea how long my mom and sister will be swimming. But anyways, let's begin. And this what if video. As we see Dipper Pines. Well, no, we don't exactly start with Dipper. Instead, we start in a blank room. As we see one eye connected to a black triangle. Now, with arms and legs and a top hat. Now, as you all might know, this is Bill Cipher. This is what Bill Cipher appeared to look like before when he first came to Gideon. He looked colorless, like a black creature with with only one eyeball. Now we see Bill Cipher just standing in a circle of symbols. Except imagine them written in Japanese. Except imagine these symbols looking a lot more ancient and runic. Okay? Basically imagine the words in Japanese. So, torn heart, imagine that as a Japanese symbol. Glasses, Japanese symbol. Question mark, Japanese symbol. All of that. Just, do that. As this being is looking through at all of these symbols, and he's just laying red and orange flames surrounding each of the symbols. Allow me to explain. This is not exactly Bill Cipher's first time communicating with or meeting the Pines family, as this is basically after he first met them in Stanley's Mindscape. As we see him now inside of the Nightmare Realm, and as we see Bill Cipher in the Nightmare Realm looking at these symbols, as he touches the pine tree symbol, and instead of turning red with the orange and yellow fire surrounding it, it turns cyan, and it turns blue with cyan flames surrounding it. As Bill Cipher's eye widens, he then says, looks like, well, that's quite ironic. After all, from what I remember, yeah, that kid was very smart. And in fact, in his future, I have seen that his maximum IQ or intelligence number is actually over 482. Which, if I don't mind myself saying, is extremely high for a human being. Of course, for me, it's very low, but in the future, that kid will probably create portals or machines of unimaginable potential. As he then say, maybe even time travel. I mean, I already know that exists, but I don't know who invented it. And I already know that it exists, and I'm pretty sure he invents it. Now that will be just a small sneak peek for the second Billdip AU I'm going to be making. Oh, by the way, just a quick warning, if you do not like and if you do not like, I guess you could say, gender bending and the Billdip ship, get the heck off this video because it contains both those things. As we see Bill still looking, and as we see Bill basically excited, as he is ecstatic. But of course, he now knows what must be done. As we skip basically to the next crucial point of meeting Bill. Or basically after Bipper, after basically he took over Dipper's body. And was basically shoved back into his own realm. And back into the Nightmare Realm. As we see him basically writing in a journal of sorts. As it says in a unspeakable language or like symbol on the front of it. Bill's journal. As it says, Bill Cipher's journal and private journal. Keep out. However, only Bill Cipher and other unholy beasts and demons and monsters and all of that can read it. And can read this language. As we see Bill Cipher writing in this journal, as he then says, so, journal entry number 52. By the way, the entire journal is in this unspeakable language. So yeah. As he then says, journal entry number 5286. By the way, I forgot to mention that this journal never runs out of pages. Bill created it and made it an infinite paged journal. As we see Bill basically then say, Dear Journal, today was another one of my crucial meetings with Pine Tree. I was able to possess his body for a little while, and I gotta say, it was great. I mean, I am a bit sad, I'm a bit sorry for, damaging his body, and for, basically making him look like a fool, but, I'm sure it'll pass, as he'd then say. However, goal one achieved. I've located all of Pine Tree's crucial human memories. Memories via my time inside of Pine Tree's body. As he would then say, the next possible chance I get, I simply just have to eliminate those memories. And next possible chance I get, I'll just have to erase those memories permanently. As you then say, and also those pathetic human emotions. And seriously, as we see Bill then close his journal, as he then begins cackling like a madman. As we skip to Weirdmageddon, to the final battle of Weirdmageddon. As we see Bill was inside of Stan's mind, and before Weirdmageddon, as we see him then say, alright, with my infinite knowledge, I have deducted that the Pines twins will exchange clothing. Meaning that Stanley Pines will look like Stanford and will look Ford, and meaning that Stanley will look like, Sixer, and Sixer will look like Stanley. So I'll just have to make a deal with Stanley while sounding extremely desperate after what he thinks of me as me being defeated or losing. As he would then say. And then all I have to do is just simply learn from him all of what he knows, and then use that simply to find out more about Pine Tree, as I'm to simply target more core things about Pine Tree, as he would then say. So, while I think I'll be defeated and Weirdmageddon will cease to, and will stop, in reality, I will simply have won. I will simply have gone past part 2 of my victory. As he would then close his journal and would say, Now, time to prepare some losing speeches. Time to prepare some, losing speeches that I guess would actually make it seem like I'm actually dying, as you'd then say. Hey, as he would then say, please, don't do this to me. Yeah, I'll give you money, fame, infinite power, your whole galaxy, please. Don't do this to me. Stay. What's happening to me? Stanley! As he then say, that's a perfect speech. Just need to work on it a bit more, and then the Pines family will actually think that I'm gone for good. As he then chuckle again and say, I love my genius. As we go back to Dipper, and as we basically skip after the offense of Weirdmageddon, as he then says, Part 3 of my plan is successful. The next phase of my plan was successful. After all, while Weirdmageddon was happening, of course I was teasing Pine Tree. And I was absolutely thrilled to tease him. And to tease Pine Tree. After all, he's very self-conscious, and, well, weak-willed. So, I just needed to start diminishing his will, and so that will just start a spiral of his will soon quickly being diminished. And, of course, in the future, better things will come. As he then say, hey, P.S., if you ever I know that you will create a translator for this, so Pine Tree, Pine Tree, I'll see you soon. As, well, we skip to when the one called Dipper Pines is at the age of 26. As basically imagine a more grown-up looking Dipper. Except in a more updated for Stanford looking attire. As we see him basically tinkering around with some robotics and with some machines, as he then says, alright, portal test phase 2. Portal test phase 2. Hold on. As he would then say, alright, let's see. Grunkle Ford, could you please activate the power? Could you please put in your ignition key, as we see a much older and a younger looking Ford there. Now, allow me to explain how Ford looks so young and is looking younger than he was in the show. We skip 2 years, as we basically go 3 years back. Ford would have been dying of old age, and would have been getting too old to do anything. As Dipper, of course, would have another idea, and would have other things on his mind than Ford dying. As I explained, Dipper is extremely smart in this AU, meaning that, well, of course he's able to invent things such as a artificial fountain of youth. as using the powers of science and a little bit of magic, Dipper was able to revert forward to the age of 36 and to the age of 31. As we see, as we go back to the present, as we see Dipper press a button, as he then says, "Alright, let's hope this works." After all, this could literally be the key to teleportation and bringing our civilization to other worlds. Wouldn't that just be awesome? As he would then tell this to Ford, as he'd say, "Yeah, I guess you're right, kid. That would be, I guess you're right, Dipper. That'd be absolutely amazing." As Dipper would then pull down a switch, as suddenly the device would begin glowing and making a low humming noise, as we see basically touch the as we see Dipper then and say, "Alright, initiating stage 2 of powering on sequence," as he then flips 3 different levers, as suddenly 3 different sides of this triangular portal, and of this, triangle-shaped portal would begin and glowing, as with different symbols in Bill's language, as he would say, "Alright, now let's hope this works." As he would then say, "Next stop," and as he would then say, "Next stop, the year," and next stop, New England. Well, no, he'd say next stop, our lab in Australia. And our other lab in Australia, as he would then turn on the device, as we see the portal then open, as we can clearly see through it, another lab, as he would then say, "Well, Grunkle Ford, I don't want to take all the fame because I'm already world famous," as he then say, "So I want you to be the first man to go, to basically have teleported to another part of Earth," as he then say, "Okay, Dipper," as he would then walk through the portal, as we hear clapping of other scientists, as Dipper would then say, "Alright, now that he's out, let's begin." And now that he's back in our other lab, let's begin phase 2. As he would then begin sliding parts of the desk, as we see the desk begins sliding apart like one of those puzzles where it's an entire thing, except there's one piece missing and it's like a sliding puzzle. And suddenly the hole of the piece that is missing is right above a lever, as this lever has a triangle on it and has a pine tree symbol on it, as you then say, "Next stop." Alright, as he then say, "Next stop, to encounter," and next stop, "an entirely different universe." And as he then say, next stop, an entirely different multiverse. As he would then turn on the machine, as it would then begin glowing and whirring around, and the low humming would then turn into a high-pitched humming, as we see yellow and blue lightning and crackling from the portal. And as we see, not yellow and blue, as we see rainbow lightning crackling from the portal. As multiple symbols open all around the portal, as 3 extra edges and 3 extra side and points then open on the portal, as the triangular portal now looks like that of a Jewish star. As Dipper would then say, final phase initiate, as he would then click a button that said, when only, as it would then say, a self tip, only press button when required. Hold on. As we see him, and as we see Dipper then and put on a watch, as the watch then begins glowing with the symbol of a pine tree, and with a cyan outline of a pine tree, as he then says, next stop, up, and this is my first step into the wide omniverse. As we see Dipper walk through the portal. However, just about to walk through the portal. However, as he is walking through it, the symbols begin blink, and the symbols glowing all around the portal begin blinking into other symbols every 2 seconds, until eventually they're flickering to different symbols each picosecond, as the 6 points of the portal begins spinning around, and as the rainbow lightning begins getting out of control, as rainbow flames begin bursting out of the portal, as it appears like a whirlwind or vortex trying to suck Dipper into the portal, as he tries to hold on to something but is sucked directly into the gaping void of the portal, as we see Dipper fall into another dimension, or another plane of existence. He then says, where am I? Where am I? As we see him completely confused. As he would notice that this world has a lot of triangle-shaped things, or this place he's at, as he sees photos and as he sees empty picture frames are triangle-shaped, a rug that is triangle-shaped, and even the walls themselves are triangle-shaped. As Dipper then says, where am I? This wasn't supposed to happen. As we hear the most iconic and greatest laugh of all history, and of all of DxD history. As he then says, hold on. Okay, disappointingly, I cannot find the Bill Cipher laugh, and, well, I'm not that good of a voice actor, except for certain people, so I cannot do the Bill Cipher laugh, disappointingly. As he then says, and as Dipper would turn around quickly, but would see no one. As he would then hear the laugh again and would turn around again. As suddenly a triangle-shaped corridor would open. And a triangle-shaped hallway would open as Deku would walk through the hallway. It would be long, as Dipper would have thought, it never ending. He would walk down this long, creepy hallway until he would reach a door. Or, as Dipper would open this door. Sorry if I keep calling Dipper Deku or Naruto, it's just I make a lot of Dipper and of Deku and Naruto what ifs, so yeah, sorry. As we see Dipper open the door, which is obviously triangle shaped. As he then sees, well, hold on. As he then sees 9 symbols that appear to be on the ground or scattered around the room. As he picks them up, they're all made of some sort of strange metal. As he can't really get a good look on them because there isn't any sort of light source. As suddenly in the middle of the room, a blue flame emits from what appears to be a cauldron. As Deku would walk over with 9 items in hand, as he would then put them up to the fire, as he would then see a symbol of a heart with a crack in it, glasses, a question mark, a bag of ice. Stanley's hat, a star, a 6-fingered hand, a llama, a shooting star, and a pine tree. As he would then say, and as Dipper, of course, would have been shooken by this, as he then dropped the symbols and step back. As he would then see on the ground how there was shapes or holes that seemed to fit the symbols. Now, of course, Dipper, not knowing where the hell he was, first thought this was someone's home, and they were some sort of Bill enthusiast, or a dimension of Bill enthusiasts, or a parallel dimension where he and everyone basically worships Bill. And he didn't say, okay, well, I don't want to be rude, so I'll just put the pieces back in the floor, because it looks like they were just scattered. As he would then put the 9 pieces into the 9 holes on the floor, as suddenly the blue flame would rise bigger and bigger and bigger, as Dipper thought it would consume the whole room. However, the flame soon became a thin pillar of flame that scorched up all the way to the top of this room. As he would see, it was a 3x3 pyramid-shaped room. As suddenly, at the top, Dipper would see something being formed. As he would see 2. And as he would see yellow dust beginning to swirl around. As he would also see some black dust. As Dipper would then widen his eyes, as he would then think, is that? As he'd then think, there's no way. That's no possible way. We killed him. As he would then begin dashing towards a door. and towards the door he came through, as suddenly the door would transform back into a piece and into a wall. As Dipper would then say, "What the? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I?" As he would then look at the walls again, as he would then see the triangle-shaped frames and all the triangle-shaped items, but this time, in the frames there was images. Images of eyes. Eyes with slits in them, looking as they looked at first. Dipper thought they were like the illusion, and like that one famous illusion where it's a picture that follows you. However, the photos and all of the picture frames would then blink, as Dipper would then realize that he is not in any ordinary Bill worshipper or dimension or parallel universe. As we see from the ceiling a fully formed triangular shaped being, as it would then rise, as it then float down to the ground, as we see Bill. And as we see Bill cipher, as he then say, "Hey, well, looky who we got here. Pine tree. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for you, kid. Seriously. I've been waiting for 14 years. Years for you to finish that portal. 14 years for you to come here and to put those pieces back in their places." As he would then say, "There's no way. You have to be a Bill of some sort of alternate universe. Some sort of parallel universe. After all, I am in another universe, right?" As we see Bill then begin chuckling insanely, hysterically laughing, as he then says, "Kid," as he then says, "Pine tree, listen up. You really think you're in another dimension or parallel universe? No. Welcome to my home." As suddenly the walls begin falling and begin unfolding, as we see them leading to hundreds of different hallways. As we then see each enormous, and as we then see hundreds of different rooms, as the entire walls begin, and as all the walls then turn see-through, as he then says, welcome to Cipher Manor," as he then say, "Out of all the things in my home dimension, this was the one thing I decided to keep." He would then say, as Dipper would be terrified, as Bill would then say, "Oh, what's the matter? Pine tree? Oh, what's the matter, Pine tree? Isn't it good to see me?" As Dipper would have been shaken, as he then say, but how did my portal even bring me here?" As Bill would then say, oh dear Lord. And as he'd say, "Oh, Pine Tree, you really thought that you could get away with using magic without my notice? Of course I noticed those runes and those exact spells. You were creating a gateway to another multiverse. to try and go to another multiverse. As he then say, well, Alpine Tree, another multiverse means another infinite. It means another infinite outcomes, infinite questions. As he then say, and infinite, and even more infinite beings. As Dipper would then say, what? As Bill would then say, kid, listen up. The omniverse is too wide, too far, too great and big for you to explore it all. I know you want to explore I knew you wanted to explore everything, but I mean, seriously, that's a bit of a stretch. As Bill would then cackle again. As Dipper would then say, what are you going to do to me? Huh? You gonna kill me? Turn me to gold? Possess me and take over my body? As he would then say, Pine Tree, Pine Tree, listen up. I don't want to take over your body. Hottie this time. In fact, all I really require is just us to enter your mindscape. It's just to enter your mindscape. Okay, Pine Tree? As Dipper would then say, what do you mean, enter my mindscape? As he'd then say, there's just one tiny thing I want to get in. I want to get in there. One little thing. As Dipper would of course, being the same careless, I'm channeling some of his careless 12-year-old foolishness, would say, fine. As he'd then say, but you'll just take a glance at whatever you want and leave me alone, right? Right, Bill? And then it's back to non-existence. As Bill Cipher would then say, absolutely, you got a deal. Deal, Pine Tree, as he'd then hold out his hand, but... What? And he'd hold out his hand, as his second hand would be, and as his second arm would just be on his waist. However, little did Dipper know that Bill spawned a third arm from behind him that was crossing its fingers. As Dipper would then look up at Bill and would sigh, as he'd say, fine, as he would hold out his hand. As Bill would then say, perfect, kid, as he would then shake, and as he'd then say, it's a deal, as the two would then shake hands, as Dipper would then say, so what exactly do you want in there? As Bill would then, as suddenly, Bill would then, and in a way, a smile. Now, of course, we cannot see Bill smile, but of course, Dipper would notice that Bill is smiling from experiencing, that one summer. As Dipper would then, and as Bill would then say, you're nothing much. Just your, humanity. As Dipper would then say, oh, okay. And then he'd say, wait, what? As he'd say, you can't have that. Stop. You can't have that. Stop it. as we see Bill then say, "Too late! Hey, Pine Tree! It's too late, Pine Tree!" As he would then as he would then turn into a shadow and would go into Dipper's mind. As we go to Dipper's mindscape, as we see Bill standing in front of an entire array of memories, as he'd then say, well, look at this. So many memories filled with human accomplishments, as he'd then say, well, bye-bye. Well, they'll all be pretty much, well, these are all useless to me right now. As he then snap his fingers as blue flames would then appear in Dipper's mindscape, as they begin disintegrating all of Dipper's memories. As he would then begin disintegrating Dipper's personality as well, until there was nothing left, a white void. As he would then say, now, just to put this, now, this of course won't activate unless I say so. And unless the right triggers are met. Hold on. As he would then place what appeared to be a three-dimensional, three-sided pyramid, or small-shaped pyramid-shaped object in the white void of Dipper's mindscape. As he would then say, and as he would then teleport out of the mindscape, as we see Dipper then, hold on, as he would then say, Perf, and as he would then basically teleport out of Dipper's mind, as we see a unconscious and what appears to be sleeping Dipper, as he then say, and let the fun begin, as he then snap his fingers, as suddenly Dipper would then revert back, and suddenly Dipper's old clothes would appear on him, as suddenly his shirt would turn yellow, as his outfit would then turn black and yellow. His hair would then turn yellow, as his cap would then turn black with a yellow triangle, as suddenly the pine tree symbol on Dipper's hat would then turn into a yellow triangle, as his eyes would then go from human looking to a sort of very light yellow with one fully yellow pupil. Hold on. As then Dipper, and as Bill would then say, looks even better already. As he'd then say, but not exactly fully done. As he would then say, now on to phase 2. As suddenly, Dipper's hair would grow longer, as his hat would then change into a black bow, as, well, one of his eyes would then look human, as his clothes would then turn into a black and yellow dress, as there would then be a white glowing outline, as Bill would then say, perfect, it's almost complete, and now just had a little, I guess you could say, extra personality, as he then began cackling like crazy. As he would then begin creating an entirely different personality and identity for the being who was once known as Dipper Pines. As he then say, how about I know, Bella Cipher and Bella Pines. No. Bella Cipher. And well, yeah. As he then began chuckling, he would say, Now when she wakes up, I'll have myself, finally will not be alone again." As he then say, I thank my genius, and I thank my infinite genius for praying to the axolotl all those years ago. As that is where I'm ending this part off. Hope y'all enjoyed part one of my two Billdip AUs. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed. However, this is not done. However, this is not exactly the end of this story. After all, the next part, the beginning will be a sort of flashback of billions of years ago. Now please like, share, comment, subscribe, and if possible, click that notification bell. And yeah, stay safe. Hope y'all have enjoyed. Goodbye. And